Hey everyone, Eggman here with another video and my first face reveal of the year. So in case you forgot what this face looks like, yeah, real quick, the deck that I'm talking about. I usually say that the decks I make are good, but I would especially say I really do believe in this one. If I was going to Chicago this weekend, I definitely would bring this. This was 100% the deck I was going to bring if I was going to Chicago, but it just didn't make sense for it to be this weekend, and so I'm not going. But I would be kind of remorseful if this was just kind of stuck because we really only have like two big tournaments for this season. So there's that. So if you really like this deck, please consider subscribing and liking, commenting the video. I want what inputs for this. And additionally, if you guys want any of the cards that are shown for this, please consider using my TCG player. Link in the description below. If you hit that link and then buy cards on TCG player, you get a little bit of a kickback. But let's put on our try hard Goku hat here, and let's get into the deck. So we've got, this is the new Surge Super Saiyan God Sengoku Surge of Divinity that's coming out literally tomorrow, or tomorrow for me, today or yesterday plus for anyone else. But yeah, especially since Chicago is going to be an event that this is legal, I really wanted to try using a Surge leader. And mostly, so kind of my philosophy with a lot of this stuff is if you use new cards, there's a kind of a trade-off of maybe you don't have the right build, but people will misplay because they don't know what your cards do and they don't know what they're capable of. So I really, I think that's a really strong strategy day of. And if you also notice, most of these cards, and actually all of them in the main deck, are just old cards anyways. If you remember the Tricolor Beerus deck that I was tinkering with for a while, this is pretty much my favorite deck of last format. It's super good. I really liked how it played. And I just wanted to. I saw the Surge Goku leader. I saw there was a lot of similarities between him and Beerus, and I made this one. So let's just jump on into it. So the leader. So when this card attacks, draw two cards, and you can choose one card in your hand and place in your drop area, which is very good, especially since one, you get the draw first, and then also the fact that you're able to just put any card in your drop. That can be any extra cards like Dormant Legends especially. That's a great card just to be able to plop into your drop area without any cost besides just attacking with your leader and getting card advantage, which you're doing anyways. And then also if like you have any extra like multicolored cards or anything like that, it's just great for putting cards you don't need into your drop area and getting a pretty good deck advantage, card advantage and all that. And then it's a Surge leader, so you choose one red card and one yellow card in your hand, place them under this card. You may draw three cards, then choose up to one of your energy, switch it to active mode, and then flip this card over. So you're able to, so this is really nice. And so the reason that this is tricolor the way it is, if you don't already see, it's mostly green-red. That was the idea with this 6-drop Broly being the main target for it. But you have to have some yellow in this deck for to actually awaken. So we do have that. We have 7 yellow, and I think this is good enough. This is a good ratio and all that. So this has been working out really nice. You only need one of these in your hand, and you can just put it under, and then you can awaken. So that's great. And then on the awaken side, so it's active main battle. Once per turn, if your life is at 5 or less and you choose one card under this card and place it in its owner's drop area, you can choose one. So choose all your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, and negate their skills for duration of the turn. So very good protection, being able to, like, if your opponent's trying to go in with a big triple striker, they can't shotgun their hand because you can just remove triple strike from the card and then you only take 1 damage or something like that, right? Like, this is a really powerful effect. It makes you, it gets you to later turns and makes your opponent kind of play kind of awkwardly because at any time you can just negate all the skills, and it's really any skill. So if they just have cards sitting out there that are doing stuff, you can just wipe all the cards on their field and just get the benefit for that. So it's either side too. So if they have like some blockers preventing you from going in, you can just erase blockers on your turn and then go in. Alternatively, it also has this card gets plus 10k power and critical for duration of the turn, and it's for the turn, it's not the battle. So if you're another way, like if your opponent's not playing like a bunch of like one big dude, and they're playing a bunch of little dudes, you can just give yourself a 10k boost, and then they're going to have a really hard time attacking over with their field of small guys. So very defensive, lets you get to later turns, and just really makes your opponent play really inefficiently, which is nice. Switching over to the cards in the main, so we've got so the 6-drop Broly is kind of like the core of this engine. We just want to drop this guy as soon as we can. This is great value. It's a big 30k that we can get out very easily. It can KO up to 2 of our opponent's cards, and then our opponent can't combo, which is really nice, especially for like the awaken side. So they can combo, right? So but the first time they combo at any turn, you can get rid of it, or anytime they combo. So it says when your opponent combos, you may choose one card in your opponent's combo area, place it at their owner's drop. If you do, negate the skill for duration of the turn. So pretty much, if they're comboing a bunch of, every time they combo, you can decide if you want to drop something or not. So they can kind of play around it if they do it weird by doing a 5k and then a 10k after you get rid of the 5k. But if you're still, even just negging one card per turn on either person's turn, I think is really great. And this just puts in a lot of work, especially if we don't get any advantage on our Awaken side. So just making it so they have to combo more, or lose more cards to combo with this card is really good. Next up, I don't know really how I want to go through this. So we have Dormant Legend. Let's just go through the red-green cards. So we have 4 Broly Demonic Origins, obviously. Super great card, red-green, just, free energy from there. And it's all, honestly, just playing this card and making your opponent drop a card isn't a bad effect either. So especially like in later game, when we have the energy free, we can just make them drop a card, and that can make a big difference. This Raditz, Arrival of the Invader, super good card. Let's just, it's a free combo for red-green. And yeah, so if you have red-green multicolor in your energy, reduce the combo cost of this card in your hand by 1. And then when you play this card, you can also just drop in this card. It's fantastic too. So it is a 4-drop, but it says when you play this card, your opponent reveals their hand. Then you choose up to 1 battle card in their hand with 35k power or less. Send it to the owner's warp, and this card gains critical for duration of the turn, which is just insane. It's kind of like a hit on top of, like the 4-drop hit on top of being also like a red-green combo. So just a really great card. And this can cinch a win too if you're if your opponent's going to play like Gogeta next turn, you can play this card and rip the Gogeta out of their hand, and so that just feels really good as well. So we've got him, and then we also have 2 of these Champas and Beeruses. This card's all right. I don't think it's necessarily it's not super needed, and if you like other cards better, you totally do it. But it's a 1 red Arrival, and then when you play this card, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with 20k power or less and KO it, then choose up to one of your other battle cards with any cost of 6 or less, and it gains double strike for duration of the turn. So this can be really good for getting on this Broly, giving it double strike unexpectedly during the battle phase. I mean, we are also running 2 Champas as well, but for the same energy, as long as we're comboing up our hand, this is almost a guaranteed double strike, and also it's kind of a cost efficient way to just blow up our one energy, or sorry, one thing for 1 energy as well. So that's really good. I think it's okay. If you don't like this card, I think this is probably one of the weaker cards in the deck, but it's nice. And then also, I guess we'll talk about these. These are our win conditions, I guess, also. So Fu is great for winning the game, obviously, especially since we kind of have pseudo hand control. We kind of make our opponent make a lot of inefficient decisions a lot of the time, so being able to just drop this Fu and attack for game is nice. And then also Super Saiyan 3 Scramble, Raditz, Vegeta, and Broly. This card's fantastic. You don't need this card for the deck. I guess you could play 2 Fus instead, but this is a great combo, just finisher for the deck. So when you play this card, choose 1 card in your life, place in your drop area, then deal 2 damage to your opponent. And then when your opponent combos with a battle card with any cost of 2 or less, choose up to 1 card in your opponent's combo area and place it in their owner's drop. So this is just like a 6-drop Rolling on steroids. Being able to deal 2 damage to your opponent is fantastic. Can really clench out a game, especially if you're playing against an aggro deck or even a control deck when they think they have a lot of cards in hand, and you can just drop this and then they're dead, right? So really great card, really great finisher, and really do like this one. Let's keep going. So okay, next, so let's look at the yellow cards real quick. So we've got the Super Saiyan 4 Son Goku Heartfelt Plead. So it's triple strike, offering an auto. Choose one of your red cards with 25k power or more and place it in its owner's drop area. When your leader activates Awaken, if Super Saiyan 4 Son Goku Heartfelt Plead isn't in play in your battle area, you may play this card from your hand. So right now, as far as any judge's ruling, and I believe Bandai came out with an official statement as well, this will work on Awakened Surge. And make sure, I guess, at Chicago with the judges there, but it will work. This is how I've been told by several people. If I'm wrong, let me know, but this is what I've been told. Please check the judge at the event to make sure, and don't get, judges at events are the rule. Even if it's not the right rule, it's their rule, you got to follow it. But assuming that that's all on the level, so this card's great, mostly because you can use it to get rid of a 6-drop Broly that's on the field. That's the main way you use it, because you want this card to, since you can only have one of these cards on the field at one time, you can kind of get stuck with the second one in your hand. and you can just do some really cool stuff with being able to play this and then combo out another, like a rival another Broly. The super duper combo you can do is that for it's a 4 energy combo, technically 3 energy with awakening, is that you combo red green, you arrival this out, you give 2 things minus 15k ignoring barrier, then you awaken, and you can awaken at any turn you want. You can just, as long as you have the cards in your hand to do it, you can just always awaken. And so during your combo step, you can continue to awaken, play the Super Saiyan Force on Goku, and then after that, so you get rid of the Broly, and then you activate Offering, and then you still have the red green. You're still on the combo phase, and you still have the red green in your combo area, so you can just play 2 more energy and play another 6-drop Broly. So that's really cool. I've been able to give something minus 30k unexpectedly, without barrier, and they just die for it. And it can be up to 40k with After Image Technique as well. So that's just a really cool synergy there. And After Image Technique is a really, really good card in this deck, especially since we really, like, sometimes we really want to be in our combo step, because we can use After Image Technique. Our opponent says no combos. You can give minus 10k to something, and you can say, okay, cool, I'll combo off one of these Raditz and then pay 2 more energy, and then give something minus 15k and blow it up. And then also, if your opponent attacks for the rest of the turn, they have to, they're going to lose a card to comboing as well. So that's really nice. I really like the synergy there, and there's that. Last yellow card we use is Great Ape Son Goku Saiyan Instincts. This is just because it's almost like vanilla. To use this card, you don't have to use any specific energy for it. So activating for 2, send this card from your drop area to your warp, draw 2. So this is just a great card. You can always discard it from your leader effect when you're swinging, or you can just put this under your leader, and then the first time you activate one of your active main battle cards, you just put this card there. And if you need to refill your hand later in the game when you don't have card advantage, you can just you spend 2 energy, draw 2. So great card. It is a little pricey. So if you don't have, like, in general, I think you need to have 7 yellow cards. Maybe you can get 6 could be okay, 8 can be okay, but 7's been the number that's been working well for me. If you can't find enough of these, Chomp of the Trickster I think is a really good just extra card to sub in for it. You'd have to charge a yellow energy to use its effect, but it's still pretty good. And but I think these cards are nice, and being able to just draw 2 is good. Let's see, where are we? So I'm just going to go through the bottom now. So Chi-Chi Motherly Majesty, I guess that's what it's called. If you have 2 or more red-green multicolored cards in your energy, when you combo with this card, draw 1. This card's insane, being able to draw cards like that and do that. So I almost want to have 4 of her and 3 of these Raditz. I'm not sure which is better, but having at least 3s to play, especially during your when you're awakened and you need cards, this is really good for helping fill that gap. We also have, we already went After Image Technique. We got 2 Denial of Hope and 3 Vegeta the Cruel. If you just want to stack up on 4 Vegeta the Cruel, go for it. I just like the split between the 2 of them. But yeah, being able, and Vegeta the Cruel is just fantastic as well, because you always want to just have 2 energy open whenever it's your opponent's turn. So you can either drop this Vegeta, you can use Denial of Hope, you can drop a Broly, you can drop a Topo. Topo's great also for just getting us to later turns, and for like dropping like dead dormant legends from our hands as well. Super good card, like it, and you could consider running this to 4 as well. Let's see what else is there. So we also have 3 Bulma, the Problem Solver. You can maybe switch this for more green cards as well, especially like you can put like a 4th Vegeta the Cruel or something. But this just guarantees that we find our dormant legend in case we get really bad RNG. In worst case, we just get like a free draw, because you could just choose 1 red or green extra card in your deck with any cost of 2 or less, place in your drop area, then shuffle your deck, and when you play it, draw 1. And so you can also, like, you can cycle like Denial of Hopes if you're not, like, I mean, if they're not in your hand, they're useless, right? So being able to just get like a draw 1 and off them is good. And just helps us with the deck and with consistency. And then we're using Master Roshi, the Sparking Super combo. I think this made more sense, especially since we've dropped cards pretty easy. I didn't think the 4 life or less super combo made sense. And I think that's all the cards in the main deck. I'm horrible with side decks, so here are just some ideas for them. First of all, Broly, Crown of Retribution. This should be in the main. I'm putting it in the side right now just on the idea that it's going to be pretty hard to get in Chicago based on my intuition. If you can find them, though, definitely put them in the deck. I'd say that you could put 2 of these in for 2 Denial of Hopes pretty quickly. This card's insane, especially like a really good like turn 3 play. You play it, and then you can just see what your opponent's trying to do next turn, and so you can know what you want to use your energy for. And this is just a great card. It's really stupid. You should run at least 2, if not 3. Great card here. Next turn, or next is even like if you don't like Champa and Beerus, put Broly in. It's easy. It's a really good card. Is that all you got? This card's good for just really aggressive decks. You can pop 2 things for 2 cards, so that's good, and stop it, an attack as well. So that's something to consider. Time Magic. This is also a free negate. I think After Image is the better of the 2 of them in the main deck for sure. But if you want more negates, we already run 7 in the main. But if you want Time Magic that actually like stops an attack, if that becomes more important, or if you're playing against like a High to Mastery deck or something that attacks lots, Time Magic can be a good like 1 or 2 of in the side, just to make sure if you need it, this that skill, you can do it. Similar thing with Flying Nimbus. So if you need to be more control heavy, like this is more kind of mid range, like an what is it? A passive aggressive mid range deck, because you just drop the 6-drop and then your opponent has to get around it. But if you need to be more control heavy, you can definitely decide into yellow things for real. So Flying Nimbus I think is another good card as well. If you find that Topo is a little bit too hard to get out, or if they're running like some of them like the Beerus balls and that kind of stuff to get rid of this from activating its auto. Flying Nimbus is just, you can just run this easily and get rid of extra cards in your hand with Nimbus, or play it under your leader to awaken that kind of stuff. It's going to be hard to be dead. Kind of the same thing. Champa the Trickster, fantastic card. If you're running yellow, the idea of this deck was to charge yellow, we'd obviously put it in, but it's not in the main. But I think it's a good card. And once again, worst case, you can just put it in the main for some of these 2-drop Gokus you don't have, and then it works out well. Kind of grade 8 Bardock. This card's just, I've really thought about this, and I haven't played with it too much because honestly I don't own any. But if your leader card's yellow at the end of the turn in which you combo this card from your hand, play it, and when you play this card, draw 1, then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and switch it to rest mode. So this is just like another yellow card that doesn't need yellow energy to be played, so it's great synergy with our leader. And if we have like a bunch of them stuck in our hand, we can just drop it with our leader, Unawakened Swing, or just put it under a leader for Surge. So I think it's a good card. It probably doesn't fit into this deck as well as the 2-drop Goku, but it's just an idea if you want it. Let's see, Super Saiyan Vegeta. We have a red leader and we like playing stuff, so this could be just a good alternative as well. I also don't have this card, and 3 energy is pretty steep. We don't have a lot of energy flexibility with this deck, unfortunately, but I thought it was a good idea. If you don't like Champa and Beerus, Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta is just another good idea for it. It's 4 or less instead of 20k or less, but and it's the same thing as a rival for 1 red, but also as double strike in case that matters more. Just an alternative option for Champa and Beerus. And then lastly, we have this Beerus No Holds Bard. So if we're going into red, yellow, or more just yellow stuff in general, this is a great card for just KOing something outright. And since we have just like After Image as well, we can KO something with 40k or something. Like if they use alternative ways to boost up the attack power or something, you can still get this down to 30k pretty easily. And so this is a fantastic card in itself, and we can kind of cheat it out with all the yellow and stuff we're running, but you'd have to like hard go into yellow. And that's really this deck. So it's once again, it's a really high learning curve. You have to, because you have so many decisions at so many times, and you kind of have to play around what your opponent can be doing. But I've really fallen in love with it. I've had a great time. I think it's really powerful. And any match I play with it, it feels winnable. I don't feel like I've ever really had like I can never win against this matchup. It's always been, okay, how do I approach this matchup? And anytime I've lost, I feel like there have been ways that I could have played better and had a better chance. So that's this. If you like it, let me know, and leave some comments of what you think about this deck. If you play with this deck, please let me know what your thoughts are as well, especially if you go to Chicago or the PPG Invitational. I'd love to see how you did with it. No pressure on me. Hopefully you don't go OX, but there's that. So thank you guys so much for watching, and subscribe if you like this video and you want to see more, and I'll catch you all next time.